back for decades and decades and decades, up I guess until the middle of the 1980s, if you would come into Village Hall and come up these stairs, instead of coming through the door here, if you wanted to, you could turn left and keep right on going up another flight. And it went up that high because of the old hose tower. The Village Hall originally served as the police department, the fire department, and the village administration, and the firemen used to dry their hoses in the middle there. So anyway, he went on to explain, I think he said 1977, he went up to the top flight and pushed through a hatch that went up and gave access up into the attic area up here, and he found a horseshoe hanging on the wall above the hatch door. And Kathy, you probably know this because the Irish have a lot to do with the superstitions about horseshoes, but many people feel that they're a sign of good luck. Murray was very, very interested in Lake Bluff history. He decided to take the horseshoe off of its hanging position on the wall there. He was convinced that it was put there when the building was built. And he put it in his file cabinet for 20 years until he retired. He thought that I would be a good keeper of it, and so I immediately took it and tacked it on the window frame above my little office area. Probably no one even noticed it sitting there. It's a very dark brown old horseshoe and it kind of blended right in with the wood. But last week I took it down and had it framed. Where's it going?
This is the Village Hall Good Luck Horseshoe. Originally mounted on the 3rd floor of the Village Hall Firehouse Tower. Moved by Lake Bluff Police Sergeant Murray Michelson in the late 1970s, mounted for display March 2015.
So Kathy, I hope you will direct Drew to hang it somewhere in the Village Hall boardroom here.
It will hang very proudly, and it is very old. I would guess that it was tradition back in the old days. It was originally built in 1905, and I'm sure it dates back to that. But this is great. Thank you.
Thanks. Moving on to another event, my biggest "you have got to be kidding me" moment. About 6 years ago, Drew called me up and said, "Hey, let's go down and talk to Jake Turlat. Tom Cahill's retired, and we need to work out the new staffing with him. I just want you to go along." To talk, little did I know, Jake, that this was actually the afternoon when they planned to tell me that I was going to run a snowplow shift. Thank you both. It was a wonderful 5 years, but actually, Bob and Al, it turned out to be great. I loved it. I love getting to know you guys better, because when you meet people at 3 o'clock in the morning, when you're called out, that's when friendships really develop. And I appreciate you staying and say goodbye to everybody. So that brings me to my other gift here. I want to, at different points in time in the organization, different employees have different values, but right now, this evening anyway, I want to make a nomination for the most valuable employee of the organization at this point in time. And Drew, I know you're thinking it's you. But you're a great village administrator. I love working for you. I really, really do. But I think it's Jake Turlat.
Yes.
So, people don't know the Public Works Department has gone down, not exclusive of garbage, all the trustees know it, but it's gone down by 30% in workforce over the last 6 years. Outside of garbage, 3.5 positions have been lost. Jake, with his excellent group of guys, is just doing an incredible job. 24/7. If your water isn't running in the morning, you guys may call Drew, but guess what? Drew is going to call Jake. He takes care of everything in the town that matters to all of us. 95% of the people just want nice roads. They want the sewers to work. You want the water system to work. And snow plowing taught me how difficult it is when you can't go to bed any night to know if you're going to make it to the next morning without a call. So, Jake, the year after Rory Michelson came to my office with that horseshoe and told me the story of Good Luck Horseshoes, I actually found this on the building project, and I put it in my file cabinet for 15 years because I already had one hanging on the wall. But I hope it brings you and your department, Jake Turlap and Lake Bluff Public Works, may always have good luck. Kathy, I had one other, and the board, I had one other present for the village, and as Drew will tell you, I'm always running behind on things. When I arrived here in the village, there wasn't a lot of space. Public Works only had the one building where we keep all our equipment, and all of the old drawings from old projects, up to 100-year-old drawings, they were actually in plastic garbage bags up on the second floor of the Public Works building with a million other things that were crammed in there in that little loft space above Tom and Dick Pelz's old office. And I found the wonderful, I love old drawings of an old survey on linen of Artesian Lake that was done in color. And I have taken that to the Lawrences, and they are framing it with protective glass so the colors won't fade. And by the next meeting, I'll have it for you at your desk. And I hope that you can, too, direct through to hang that somewhere.
As you know, we're raising money right now for the mural. They've been hung for many, many years, since 1926 in the Oldie School. It was taken down. It has been stored at a conservancy in Chicago. We're raising money to have it done. It will fit on this wall over here. Because that's one of the only places in town, because it is so big that it will fit. And it is a wonderful priceless treasure, and we are going to be kind of redoing the Village Hall to reflect its architectural and historical significance, and your gift would be proudly accepted. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Real quickly here, I'm almost wrapping up. Drew, thank you for not giving me the evil eye to cut it short. My most frightening and lucky moments, and I told two people in the office this story just a week ago, but I kept it secret for a long, long time. Most frightening and lucky moments in like 25 years here. I've always had old police vehicles, and one day I really been pretty quiet and mild with the residents, but one day I just got into a terrible argument with the resident in Tangley Oaks. And I was coming back, and I don't even remember what the issue was anymore, but I was so upset. And it was the car where the shift was on the column of the steering wheel. And I came around the corner of Green Bay at 176, and I was going down the hill on Route 176 coming towards the underpass, probably at a pretty good rate of speed. And I was swinging my arms, and I slammed the gear shift, and I threw the car into park, probably traveling at about 45 miles an hour. And I literally spun the car 180 degrees, came to a complete perfect stop, pointing uphill in the other direction. I could have easily have rolled the car. I could have killed someone or myself. There was not one person coming in either direction. My heart beat all day. I just drove off. The car still ran out. Can you believe that? it was just amazing. Then so it was frightening and lucky. The other frightening and lucky moment that comes to mind is references have been made. I did work a lot of, went home for dinner, and then after the kids were bed, worked a lot of late nights after midnight. And a former police officer was aware that I was up here in the middle of the night one night, probably like at 2 a.m., and one of the new police officers that I didn't yet know, I think was just shadowing him at the time. Maybe he hadn't even been appointed, I don't remember, but he talked this young recruit into putting a black stocking cap on his head. Sneaking in the village hall, thank you, Lake Bluff Police Department. And at 2 in the morning, if you've never been frightened out of your wits, this gentleman walked through my office and stopped and then walked back out and came out here, and for whatever reason, I got up to follow him. And the officer, whose name I'm afraid we might cut off his retirement, was sitting at the village president's chair, who put him up to it with his feet up laughing. That was very frightening, but it was also lucky because I could have died of a heart attack. A couple other quick things. The Lake Bluff History Museum. If ever anyone has taught me about history being fun, what an organization. Craig, thanks for being here. Kathy, Janet, everybody should belong in this organization. It's great, absolutely great. Peg and Penny and Greg Marsh, thank you. You're tremendous friends. So much joy. Dave Graff, as Dave already mentioned, he was the village president when I was hired, when I was a young punk. Talk about a volunteer. And Dave, I still remember when you sat down as village president, you were choked up at the microphone. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Steve Willard, Bill Hart, Bill Goodman, the Kluchkas, what a volunteer family that is. Thank you all for being my friend. Dave Belmonte, the Lake Bluff Police Department, everyone's always been very kind to me. My fellow employees here at Village Hall, Drew, Susan, Brandon, thanks for putting up with me day after day. It is so, you're great people to work with, very, very great people to work with. And the village board, all the time that all of you put into this, it's just amazing. I get paid to do this, you know, and you don't get a dime. And thank you, as a resident, thank you. The only request, I do have one request, and that's to treasure open space in the village. I am a big believer that once it's lost, we can never get it back. And that's the one thing that I hope, and I'm hoping to stay involved in the village, is just resist that temptation for a short-term solving of problems by getting rid of our open space. I think it's part of the charm of the village, all the open space that we have. Bonnie, thank you so much for coming all this way tonight to be here. I'm sure I'm forgetting people, and I apologize for that, but boy, I have been so lucky, so very lucky. Pam, you're the best. Absolutely the best. Lastly, October 28th, 1928. Kathy? What happened October 28th, 1928?
We all know it's the Lake Bluff fabulous furnace mystery.
Yes, when Elfrida Knack was found in the basement of Village Hall. I'm a night owl. In my younger days, I really used to put in a lot of hours, and I was trying to figure out how many times usually it was the night before we were leaving on vacation, and I was nervous about trying to get things done, but I truly think there were several dozen times where I actually saw the sun come up here at Village Hall. I think there was probably 1,000 times, honestly, over 25 years where I was here after midnight, not working straight through the day. I'd gone in for dinner and spent some time with the kids. But darn it, never once did Elfrida choose to visit me and talk to me. I always hoped that she would, and I would settle the grand argument between Craig Moreland and Kathy McKechnie.
We have the person who played
So
Elfrida.
Mike Croce is our new building commissioner, and he is showing signs of he's going to be a great employee for this organization. I can tell already he's very, very dedicated. He's spending some late nights here already. And Mike, if Elfrida chooses to visit you after all these years that I put into the village, I'm going to be very, very mad, so don't tell her. Thank you all very much.